From the first time we meet Usopp, we can see how he's a liar, running through the village while yelling about oncoming pirates. Before I talk about this next part, I'd like to give a warning and say that I'm not a psychologist and this is completely being pulled out of my ass. Usopp is often called a pathological liar, but while researching pathological lying for this video, I found out that it is primarily lying for no particular reason. But in Usopp's case, there's a clear reason for why he lies. He wants to look brave and portray himself in a way similar to his father, whom he admires so much. However, when researching this, I came along a particularly interesting part where the causes of pathological lying were detailed. One particularly intriguing cause of pathological lying is fastidious disorder. I'll put in the name on the screen. The disorder comes from childhood abuse and neglect and low self-esteem, amongst a few other things. Both of these completely check out for Usopp. For those who need a quick reminder on his childhood, his father Yasopp left him and his mother behind and joined a pirate crew. Side note here, but he's the sniper of the red-haired pirates under the Yonko Shanks. So honestly, good for him. He's like Jing, worst father of the year, but good job in your career, man. Moving on, following this, we see Usopp's mother fall ill, where we see the first sign of Usopp's lying. Or, well, the youngest. He runs to his mother, who's on her deathbed, and said that his father came back. While this is the earliest time we as an audience see his lying, it's clear from his mother's reaction that this is a common occurrence. We can assume that because his mother fell sick and was unable to take care of him, he picked up a habit to lie to others for most things. Eventually, it's clear that Usopp became fascinated with his father's profession and decided to make up stories, also known as lying, about how he was a brave warrior of the sea. Eventually, he met another person of his age, Kaya. No, not that Kaya. This Kaya. Yeah. Kaya was also confined in her house, and I think this resonated with Usopp, as he was confined to the island, but he clearly wanted to freely explore the seas and become a pirate like his father. Usopp began telling her stories about his supposed great deeds, which to me was Usopp trying to impress her. Whether romantically or not, I don't know, but that much is clear to me. He wanted to impress her. We also know that a canon fact is that Usopp's self-esteem is extremely low, which was quite literally displayed to us on Thriller Bark when Usopp was unaffected by Perona's ghosts. This is why I do think if Usopp was a pathological liar, it would be as a symptom of fastidious disorder. But as another reminder, this is straight from my ass, and if any professionals watch this vid, please tell me down in the comments how I was wrong. As we move on to the story, we see one of Usopp's first showing of his unrivaled bravery as he fights Chu, the fishman, on Arlong Park. While this fight was admittedly lots of running away, he did eventually fight the fishman, even though he was dead scared of every single fishman on the island and would nearly break down in tears just by seeing them. He still stood up and overcame his fears, which is why I believe he's truly brave. Not many characters in the show managed to stand up to their fears, and not many people in the real world do either. When he finally beats the fishman, we see how he's one step closer to achieving his dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea. By being with the Straw Hats, not only is he growing closer to his journey and his goal of being the bravest warrior on the seas, but he's making true bonds, something that he lacked in his childhood. Moving on in the journey, Usopp clearly shows evident signs of horrible childhood through his first few acts with the Straw Hats, through extreme fear and lying. He's not only scared of monsters and villains of the story, but when we see his interaction with the Straw Hats upon their first arrival on the island, it's clear he's terrified of pirates, though wanting to be one. Over time, this fear still exists, but it's clear that he forms meaningful bonds with the pirates, as well as the most obvious one, his bond with Luffy. Like most Straw Hats, Usopp's bond with Luffy is a very important one to his character. He sees Luffy as a happy pirate, a free pirate. He aspires to be like Luffy in the future. Thus, his bond with Luffy is an extremely important one to his goal of becoming a brave warrior of the sea. However, Usopp's relationship with Luffy isn't just a way of achieving his dream. It's a true friendship. They are true friends throughout the story, which is what makes what happened on Water 7 that much more brave of Usopp. During Water 7, when Luffy was getting ready to get rid of the Mary, Usopp fought back against his captain and friend for the ship, eventually declaring that he'd fight with Luffy for possession of the Mary while also quitting the crew. This, being completely honest, was extremely stupid, but also extremely brave of Usopp. He was deadly scared of pirates, and even though the thought of having to fight one scared him near shit. What just came out of my mouth? Even though the thought of having to fight one scared him to death, however, he was there, getting ready to fight against his captain, one of the strongest pirates he knew, for his ship. Granted, this ship was an important one to him, as it was his tie to his childhood in Kaya, but it was, at the end of the day, a ship. A ship can be replaced. A friendship cannot. Usopp's fight against Luffy was also extremely heartbreaking, as there was no true winner of that fight. Everyone lost in some way, as everyone was in tears, heartbroken. Ironically, I think this is when Usopp becomes a lot braver. Enies Lobby was, in my opinion, the arc where Usopp got to display his bravery a lot more. He was extremely brave by asking his friend Sogeking to join the Straw Hats and help them out during their journey. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay, being for real though, Usopp's journey during Enies Lobby was an extremely brave. From shooting down the world government flag, to literally fighting neck and neck with his friends for Robin. Usopp also got to speak with the people he admired, the Elbaf giant warriors. Since he met Dory and Bragi in Little Garden, he admires the warriors of Elbaf and their bravery and might. Since meeting Dory and Bragi, Usopp has always wanted to go to Elbaf. This is where I think Usopp's character development will reach the peak, when the Straw Hats reach Elbaf. The Straw Hats reaching Elbaf is pretty much set in stone to happen due to how crucial it is to Usopp's character development, so I think they're, in a way, forced to go to Elbaf. And I think during Elbaf, we'll finally see Usopp truly become the brave warrior of the sea he always wanted to be. Overall though, I think Usopp is an extremely well-written character whose childhood plays a big part in his character. His lying comes from wanting to make a meaningful bond and good impression on other people so that his childhood doesn't repeat and people don't like him and leave him alone again. He doesn't want to be alone, which is why his lying comes in action. I also do believe he's one of the most brave characters in One Piece, as he constantly overcomes his fear and stands up to people who terrify him. There are many examples of this in the story, and I obviously couldn't go through all of them, but I think some of them I should have gone through, include like Dressrosa and stuff, where he honestly is truly brave for standing up to his fears, something that many people cannot do. Overall though, that's all for today guys, thanks for listening, and I'm sorry this took a long time.